These include American Heart Association, International Society for Thrombosis and Hemostasis, Electron Microscopy Society of America, West African Society for Pharmacology, and Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. Professor Olufunke has discharged several administrative responsibilities in the department, faculty, university, as well as outside the university. These include Head, Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics 2006 to 2009 and 2011 to 2014. Member, Library and Publications Committee, Director, Stem Cell Research Center, University of London 2014 to 2017, Visiting Research Associate in Platelet Biochemistry and Functional Studies at Department of Medicine and Molecular Chemistry, University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA. Teaching Assistant in Biochemistry and Biopro at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA, 1986 to 1987, promotion, but a few. Professor Olufunke has 87 publications in reputable areas, national and international journals, edited conference proceedings and chapters in books. She has served as external examiner to many universities across Nigeria. She has also attended many conferences, workshops, and seminars, including International Heart Congress in Tokyo, Japan 2023, and the Vascular Research Center Summit, University of Wisconsin, USA, International Conference, Research, Innovation, and Technology for African Development, Cape Peninsula University of Technology, Cape Town, South Africa, 20th Annual Conference of West African Society of Pharmacology, University of Nigeria, 1981, and 22nd Congress of the International Society of Hematology in Milan, Italy, 1988, among others. Professor Olufunke is happily married to Professor Solomon Olufunke. The union is blessed with children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Welcome, Professor Olufunke Olufunke, the true assistant in
Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Management Services, Research Technology and Innovation, the Registrar, the Acting Professor, the University Librarian, Provost College of Health Sciences, Dean Faculty of Basic Clinical Sciences, Deans of other faculties, postgraduate school and student affairs, Directors of various units, Professors and other members of the Senate, Acting Head of Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics, Heads of other departments, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, academic and non-teaching staff, students of the Faculty of Basic Clinical Sciences, great students of the University of Ilorin, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Vice Chancellor, sir, it is with gratitude to God and to you that I will stand to deliver this inaugural lecture today before this distinguished audience. This lecture should have been delivered a few years after my husband delivered his inaugural lecture several years ago, but I got involved in helping to develop and to establish the research and training aspect of the University of Ilorin Stem Cell Research Program. Following the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the University of Ilorin and the University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA on stem cell research and training, I went back to school at Madison College, USA, with two other colleagues from this university. I have every reason to thank God that I can stand before this great audience to deliver this lecture, which is a 2260th in the series. What is pharmacology? Pharmacology is a field of biomedical science that encompasses drug composition and properties, functions, sources, synthesis and drug, molecular and cellular mechanisms, organ system, mechanisms, signal transduction, cell communication, molecular diagnostics, interactions, chemical biology, therapy and medical applications, and anti-pathogenic capabilities, and consisting of two main areas, namely pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. Valais 2006. My journey into pharmacology. During my final year in the School of Pharmacy at Madrid University area, the elective I chose for my final year project was in pharmacology. I had the privilege of watching with admiration Professor Charles Wambebe of blessed memory, who at that time was carrying out his PhD research study, which involved implanting electrodes into the brain of animals for brain recording. This formed a strong pull for me to opt for pharmacology as my elective research area. I was attached to Dr. A.A. Diallo as my project supervisor. Even as an undergraduate, at the undergraduate level, I learned to implant electrodes into the brain of rodents. My project involved measurement of brain waves, electroencephalogram of the rat brain, and to evaluate the influence of drugs with stimulant and depressant activity on pentobarbital-induced sleeping time. With contributions into my academic life from such great teachers, I concluded my undergraduate program with a first-class honors degree in pharmacy from the Madrid University. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA for my postgraduate studies, utilizing the University of Illinois Staff Development Award. My journey through pharmacology research. I'll start with brain research. You see, the whole thing is systems pharmacology. How do we develop fever? Exogenous pyrogens initiate fever by inducing host cells, especially macrophages, to produce and release endogenous pyrogens such as interleukins. Endogenous pyrogens are transmitted to the hypothalamus thermoregulatory center, where they induce synthesis of prostaglandins of the E series. Brain mapping studies in which E series prostaglandins injected into the anterior hypothalamus preoptic region produce hypothermia, demonstrating the importance of this region in the brain to control body temperature. Ackman and Rudy, 1980. Vice Chancellor, sir, my MSc research focused on finding other regions of the brain aside from the already established preoptic region of the hypothalamus that control body temperature and cause hypothermia. This is based on the fact that previous studies in monkeys in which the anterior hypothalamus preoptic region had been completely destroyed bilaterally experienced strong pyrexia after intracerebroventricular injection of bacterial endotoxin or PGE series or intravenous injection of endogenous pyrogens, thus showing that prostaglandins may produce pyrexia through an action at a site outside the anterior hypothalamus preoptic region, Lipton and Tinsler, 1976. Therefore, I mapped the subdiencephalic brain region for sites capable of mediating prostaglandin-induced pyrexia. My findings, OLORUNDARE and Rudy 1986A and Figure 1, showed that the reactive sites where unilateral microinjection of prostaglandin E produced pyrexia were found in the hippocampus, 5 sites, and in the vicinity of the cochlear nucleus, 7 sites. PGE1 injection into the hippocampus produced pyrexia with less reliability than injections near the cochlear nucleus. However, the cochlear nucleus have no known involvement in normal thermoregulation or in the production of fever. In addition, the cochlear nuclei protrudes into the subarachnoid space, increasing the likelihood that the injected could enter the cerebrospinal fluid and be carried forward to the established region known for temperature regulation in the brain, that is the anterior hypothalamus preoptic region. Because of this possibility related to the putative cochlear nuclear site of action, the study was extended further to map responsive sites in the cochlear region more extensively to PG-induced pyrexia. My findings, OLORUNDARE and Rudy, 1980B, and Figure 1, shows that micro-injection of PGE1 into or near the cochlear nuclei reliably produced a core temperature increase, or that the cochlear nuclear region provided a unique access portal to the anterior hypothalamus preoptic tissue, by which prostaglandins released at the cochlear region and contiguous tissue possessed and present in the cerebrospinal fluid near the acoustic tubercle, mediate fever. Findings from both publications therefore suggest that there is an extra anterior hypothalamus preoptic region for prostaglandin action in the brain involved in the mediation of fever. Those are the sites that were mapped. Those are brain sites with different coordinates that were mapped for this work. My doctoral and other research efforts in human blood platelets. So at this point, I switched from central nervous system to cardiovascular system. Human platelets, how they are made in the body, and the significance to well-being. Platelets circulate in the blood as biconvex disc of about 2 to 4 micron in diameter, numbering 150 to 350 times 10 to the power 9 per liter in healthy individuals. They are anucleated blood cells with short lifespan, being destroyed in the spleen and liver. Thrombopoiesis, the production of platelets, occurs primarily in the bone marrow and is preceded by differentiation of hematopoietic stem cells into polyploid megakaryocytes, which shed numerous cytoplasmic protrusions called pro-platelets. Philip and Nagy, 1977, George Newton and Phillips, 1984, OLORUNDARE, 2008. Under physiologic conditions, platelets are unactivated, they are discoid shaped as they circulate in the blood, but under this condition, the endothelial lining of the blood vessels is resistant to interaction with platelets and coagulation factors, and this prevents thrombosis or clotting when the endothelial continuity is disrupted, as in when a cut is made on the skin, or when there is an injury and the underlying matrix is exposed. A coordinated series of events are set in motion to seal the defect. That's primary hemostasis. Hemostasis is a process by which the body seals off leaks in the circulatory system to prevent loss of content. Activation of the resting platelet leads to a shape change and a major reorganization of the cytoskeletal element. Loftus and Albrecht, 1984, Albrecht, OLORUNDARE, Simmons, 1988, Waples, OLORUNDARE, 1992. My research contribution to how platelets function in hemostasis. My contribution in the field of thrombosis and hemostasis started with my PhD under the supervision of Professor Ralph Albrecht, and the research focused on investigating the internal reorganization which underlies the continuum of platelet shape change upon activation of resting platelets to start off release of platelet granular content, aggregation, that's platelet clumping, and the platelet activity to form primary platelet plug, thus sealing up leaky blood vessels. In addition to the study, it also includes the events which happen within the platelets that bring about platelet-platelet interaction, what happens when platelets recruit other platelets as is the result that results in permanent plug to plug the leaky vessel or the injury. Albrecht and OLORUNDARE in 1987, Albrecht, OLORUNDARE, and Simmons, 1988. I employed 3 microscopic methods: video enhanced differential interference contrast light microscopy, high voltage electron microscopy, low voltage high resolution scanning electron microscopy, in conjunction with colloidal gold or other inert metals conjugated to fibrinogen or other platelet proteins to track the internal and surface biological events in human platelets as they go through the stages of shape change to bring about thrombosis. The study evaluated platelet proteins, including fibrinogen, von Willebrand factor, and their interaction with the integrates. Those are the platelet receptors and that are involved in platelet function in causing thrombosis. My findings show that platelet activation involves mechanisms that increase polymerization of monomeric actin to actin filaments and engagement of actin filaments with myosin filaments, culminating in platelet cytoskeletal reorganization and the continuum of shape change in conjunction with platelet fibrinogen receptor alpha-2b beta-3 reorganization, which enables platelet-platelet interaction and formation of platelet plug or thrombi. My research conclusively demonstrated the contractile activities that underlie thrombosis and by extension clot retraction during wound healing. In addition, the involvement of calcium ion in platelet-platelet interaction was established. Olorundare et al. 1988, Olorundare et al. 1992, Olorundare et al. 1993. After my PhD, I continued to collaborate in research study in the laboratory of Professor Aubrey to investigate different polymer materials used for artificial valves, stents, and prosthetic devices for their thrombogenic potential. Several individuals with coronary vessel blockage, aortic valve blockage, breast implants are dependent on prosthetic devices implanted into their organs for optimal day-to-day functioning. It is therefore very important that such devices be tested for their thrombogenicity before they are released by the companies that made them. With respect to studies in the interaction of polymers, we reported intracellular calcium in platelets increased with surface-induced activation, as in when platelets contact artificial materials and when platelets contact, as in that cause the initial platelets to the site of injury, recruit other platelets, leads to intracellular calcium transit. We also identify the type of polymers which will not cause thrombosis when they are possibly used as prostheses in individuals. Webels and Olorundare et al. 1992, Webels, Olorundare et al. 1996. During my sabbatical leave, I worked in the laboratory of Professor Demosha of the Department of Medicine and Biological Chemistry, University of Wisconsin, where I continued research into other important platelet proteins, fibrinotin, butylatin, and laminin, and their involvement in thrombosis and clot retraction. Phosphatidic acid and sphingosine-1-phosphate are agonists of the platelet differentiation edge, this family of G protein-coupled receptors, and both agonists are generated by platelet activation during blood coagulation. Findings from my study demonstrated that LPA, thrombin, ADP, and S1P induce adherent platelets to bind fibrinolytic matrix and point to the fact that platelets may contribute to the early deposition of fibrinolytic matrix after vascular injury. The result further suggested that both fibrinolytic assembly by activated adherent platelet and factor 13A mediated cross-linking of fibrin clot result in insolubilization of fibrinolytic after wound healing. Factor 13A is an enzyme in the blood coagulation pathway, and it is important in wound healing following injury. Olorundare 2000B, Olorundare et al. 2021. What you see on the screen is just one of the results. Here we use correlative electron microscopy. On the right side is light, video enhanced differential interference light microscope, followed by high voltage electron microscope, followed by low voltage high resolution scanning electron microscope. My research contribution into cardiometabolic diseases. What are common characteristics of cardiometabolic syndrome? Cardiometabolic syndrome encompasses a group of interrelated abnormalities including abdominal obesity with obesity triggering metabolic disturbances, insulin resistance, impaired glucose tolerance, dyslipidemia, hyperuricemia, hypertension, and other cardiovascular diseases. Cobb and Klein, 2009. Individuals with cardiometabolic diseases are 2 times more likely to die from coronary heart disease and 3 times more likely to die from a heart attack or stroke than those who do not have the syndrome. Cobb and Klein, 2009, Sinjuhan, 2017. What are some of the trigger factors? Genetic predisposition, which interacts with environmental factors, sedentary lifestyle and poor diet, which amplify obesity, visceral adiposity, and insulin resistance, hormonal imbalances. I will go ahead to explain my own specific contribution to cardiometabolic diseases. This study examined estradiol an important hormone among the female gender, in conjunction with selected anti-hyperlipidemic drugs used singly or in combination for their atheroprotective potential in overectomized rat fed with thermoxidized oil diet. Pharmacology and OLORUNDARE 2023. Thermoxidation of edible oil through fat frying at higher temperatures results in generation of several oxidized products that promote lipid peroxidation and reactive oxygen species when eaten. Intermittent deep frying of edible oil is a common food processing practice in homes, food vendors, restaurants, and industries. This is a practice adopted to reduce cost and improve taste. The study involved surgically removing the ovaries of rats at bearing age to simulate menopause, and the rats were allowed to recover from surgery under antibiotic cover. The animals were then fed for 3 months with thermoxidized oil diet. Estradiol to replace estrogen lost due to the ovarectomy, or single or combined combination of atorvastatin and ezetimibe, both being anti-hyperlipidemic drugs used in the clinic, were administered to some groups of these animals for a period of 3 months. Assessment of lipid profile in conjunction with evaluation of various biochemical markers of oxidative stress, inflammation, histopathological evaluation of the ascending and descending aorta showed that thermoxidized palm oil supplemented diet fed to overectomized rat significantly increased atherogenic dyslipidemia. Both oils decreased the ratio of high-density lipoprotein to low-density lipoprotein, while also elevating atherogenic index, coronary risk index, and very significantly. OLORUNDARE et al. 2023. Those are the results of the histopath of the descending and thoracic aorta. My contribution to cancer chemoprevention using African medicinal plants. What is cancer? Cancer is a long-term process of cellular growth, division, clonal expansion of initiated cells, exemplified by 3 steps known as initiation, promotion, and metastasis. Gupta and Mokhtar, 2002. It is a multi-step process whose initiation and progression occur through a range of defects that develop both within the body and outside the cancer cell. According to the WHO Cancer Fact Sheet for Nigeria 2022, and which will be shown later, the 3 leading cancer in men in Nigeria are prostate cancer, colorectal cancer, and liver cancer. While in the female, cervical cancer, colorectal cancer, and breast cancer are the 3 leading cancers. Over 1/3 of cancer-related deaths worldwide are due to potentially modifiable lifestyle risk factors. To reduce the incidence of cancer, one promising approach is its prevention. Chemoprevention provides a practical approach to identifying potentially useful inhibitors of cancer development and affords excellent opportunity for studying the mechanisms of carcinogenesis. The intervention of cancer at the promotion stage seems to be the most appropriate and practical because tumor promotion is a reversible event at the early stages. Vika Ato 2000. That's the chart from WHO showing the cancer statistics for Nigeria. Fruits and vegetables are excellent sources of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They are also known to contain several micronutrients and other compounds such as alkaloids, polyphenols, terpenes that provide health benefits beyond basic nutrition. Agrawal and Shishodia, 2006. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, in November 2014, TED Fund gave a National Research Fund Award to Olufunke OLORUNDARE, Joseph Adebayo, Abiola Babatunde, Philip Mamankolo, in collaboration with Professor Suraf Aubrey and Hassan Mukhtar of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. This National Research Award was for conducting research in cancer chemoprevention and therapy using phytochemicals. Before the research work started, I came across Professor Mamoru Koketsu of Gifu University, Gifu, Japan, who also collaborated in this research. The study entailed isolation of fractions and characterization of phytochemicals from African vegetables and medicinal plants for the purpose of evaluating their anti-cancer activity and delineating their mechanism of action. Funds from this award were utilized in training 2 postgraduate students at the PhD level, one from my lab and one from Professor Adebayo's lab, and for their PhD research work, and one student from my laboratory for his MSc work. The research resulted in the discovery of groundbreaking isolated and characterized chemicals with anti-cancer activities. As a result of our research and collaboration with Professor Mamoru Koketsu, we reported for the first time the isolation of a rare tetranoiditropine from Polyalthia longifolia, that's the masculine tree, and a methyl ester derivative of the isolated tetranoiditropine was synthesized in the laboratory. The tetranoiditropine and its methyl ester derivative showed anti-leukemic activity against human leukemic HLA-60. This work resulted in the discovery of new anti-cancer agents. Afolabi Olorundare et al. 2017A, Afolabi Giebi Agede Njan and Olorundare et al. 2021. In conjunction with Professor Mamoru Koketsu, we explored the anti-cancer potential of another indigenous plant, Gombrolima latifolium, traditionally used in spices, vegetables, and various medicinal purposes in the southeast, where it's known as utazi. This research led to the isolation of a new pregnant glycoside named iloneoside. It has a long name which I'm not going to go through now. Since we were the first to isolate this compound, we were accorded the right to name it iloneoside after Ilorin, where our university is situated. This pregnant glycoside is cytotoxic with anti-cancer potential against human leukemic cells. Giebi Adebayo Olorundare, 2018. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, herein we report the isolation and characterization of a lead compound which carries the name of the university and is ready to be further exploited for the management of leukemia. In collaboration with Professor Hassan Mukhtar, we continued our study into Polyalthia longifolia or other types of cancer aside from leukemia. We evaluated the anti-cancer potential of Polyalthia longifolia on various types of prostate cell lines, and the investigation was conducted both in vitro and in vivo with in vivo models of prostate cancer using tumor-bearing athymic node mice. Our findings show that Polyalthia longifolia exhibited high efficacy against prostate cancer cells, and in the prostate cancer xenograft mouse model with significant inhibition of tumor growth and reduced tumor burden. We also elucidated the biochemical mechanisms by which this plant caused inhibition of prostate cancer to be due to induction of apoptosis in the prostate cancer cell line. Afolabi Olorundare et al. 2018, Afolabi Olorundare et al. 2019. That's the result. Those are the animals that were made to bear the prostate cancer burden. We then moved on to management of toxicities for anti-cancer drugs. Recent advances in cancer chemotherapy have reduced mortality of some malignant tumors. However, tumor-associated toxicity has increased patient morbidity and mortality and limited the therapeutic usefulness of this anti-cancer regimen, as well as causing dose-limiting toxicities. We directed our attention to ameliorating the toxicities of 2 clinically used anti-cancer drugs, doxorubicin, a versatile, highly used drug which features in many chemotherapeutic cocktail regimens, and trastuzumab, a gold standard monoclonal antibody against breast cancer and gastric cancer. Our findings show that clerobendron volume leaf extract offered protection against doxorubicin-induced cardiotoxicity, which was mediated via free radical scavenging activity and antioxidant mechanisms, and we reported improvement in cardiovascular risk indices. Olorundare et al. 2028. We also reported the vasorelaxant property of this leaf extract against doxorubicin cardiac toxicity. Akínsọ́lá Adélẹ́yẹ Ọlọ́rundare et al. 2022. We investigated the protective therapy of two other of Pteridinium volume leaf extract and Ivigia gabonensis seed extract for the pre-treatment in trastuzumab treated rats. Overall findings from this study, Olorundare et al. 2020b, highlighted the promising potential of both extracts against trastuzumab-induced cardiac toxicity. Their cardioprotective activities are mediated via free radical scavenging, antioxidant, and anti-thrombotic mechanisms, thus highlighting the therapeutic potential of cardiovascular Pteridinium volume and Ivigia gabonensis in the management of trastuzumab-induced cardiotoxicity. Regarding trastuzumab-induced hepatorenal toxicity, we reported that both extracts ameliorated trastuzumab toxicity, either partly or wholly, via their free radical scavenging and antioxidant potential. Adeleye Olorundare et al. 2021c. In our quest to provide effective and affordable therapeutic options for treating trastuzumab-induced cardiotoxicity, we also evaluated possible therapeutic potential of Osimum gratissimum, that's ephedrine leaf extract, and fraction in acute trastuzumab-induced cardiac toxicity in Wister rats. We compared the effect of this extract with fraction with fixed dose combinations of clinically used antihypertensive drugs, valsartan, lisinopril. Findings highlighted the promising therapeutic potential of Osimum gratissimum in significantly reducing trastuzumab-induced cardiotoxicity mediated via abrogation of cardiomyocyte apoptosis and antioxidant mechanisms. Adeleye and Olorundare 2023, Olorundare et al. 2024. We also evaluated the preventive and therapy of Osimum against pulmonary toxicities due to trastuzumab. Our findings show that the extract and fraction from this plant abrogated trastuzumab-induced lung fibrosis via antioxidant and anti-apoptotic mechanisms. Ajayi Olorundare 2023. My journey into stem cell research. My journey into stem cell research was at the instance of Professor Sulaiman Buranga and Professor A.G. Ambali, the University Vice Chancellor at that time. Following my appointment as coordinator of the University Stem Cell Program and with the assistance of my PhD supervisor, Professor Ralph Aubrey, under the leadership of Professor A.G. Ambali, a visit to the United States of Ilorin's Stem Cell Research Team to the University of Wisconsin-Madison was arranged. The visit culminated in the signing of a memorandum of understanding with the University of Wisconsin-Madison on stem cell research training and future development of stem cell in the University of Ilorin. It is noteworthy that in 1998, Professor James Thompson of the University of Wisconsin, for the first time in a landmark breakthrough research, generated stem cells from human embryonic stem cells. In 2018, as a past director of the Stem Cell Research Unit, and with the endorsement of the immediate past Vice Chancellor, Professor Sulaiman Agi Abdulkarim, I made a presentation to the Tech Fund Management on what we learned during our 2 semesters training at Madison College. This presentation resulted in the approval and grant of the sum of almost 248 million naira by Tech Fund to the University of Ilorin for stem cell research training of academics and technological staff at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. This award enabled us to go back to UW-Madison in 2020 to start our stem cell research training. That's Professor Ambali. That's the visiting research team that went to Madison. This is the man that brought stem cell to the world. Currently, stem cell research and therapy is directed towards the programming of somatic cells from adult humans, which overcomes issues arising from the use of embryonic stem cells and mainly devoid of complications which accompany the use of embryonic and xenogenic stem cells. We've heard about pigs being transplanted into humans. My research contribution into stem cell technology. I had my stem cell research training in 2 laboratories, that of Professor Timothy Camp, which involved research into cardiac cell regeneration via manipulation of the LRRC10 gene, a gene discovered to cause regeneration in some fishes and tadpoles. The laboratory is also involved in developing protocols for repairing cardiomyopathies such as the Brugada syndrome. My second laboratory belongs to that of Professor Ruben Alexania. The laboratory focuses on stem cell protocols to repair valvular heart disease. We develop monolayer-based molecules for induced HPS, human pluripotent stem cell-derived endocardial progenitor cells, causing, that is, pig aortic valve defects were decellularized, and then endocardial progenitor cells at day 9 were co-cultured with these hydrogels. qPCR, flow cytometry, and quantitative RT-PCR were performed throughout the differentiation of the cells after co-culturing. Our results concluded that hydrogels from decellularized aortic valve promote endothelial mesenchymal transition of endocardial progenitor cells, a crucial process in valvular development. Walter North, OLORUNDARE, 2023. Brugada syndrome is an inherited cardiac arrhythmia characterized by a typical pattern of ST segment elevation on the electrocardiogram and an increased risk of ventricular fibrillation and sudden cardiac death. Under the direction of Jim Wajran, we want to differentiate heart cells from a patient with a heterozygous mutation of this defective gene, the SCN5A. The differentiated heart cells are being used to study how this defect affects cells. John, Saito, Kim, Jenkins, OLORUNDARE, 2022. So these are the heart cells we develop. And that's the night from the wild type 9911, showing the beating heart. The other is from the Brugada syndrome patient. Human development. Besides teaching pharmacology to medical students over the years, I pioneered the postgraduate degree program at the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics, from which 34 MSc and 3 PhD students have graduated. Presently, we have 10 PhD students and 2 students in the program. Community service at the national level. In 2014, the Raw Material Research Development Council gave us a seed money to a team of researchers, Olufunke, OLORUNDARE, Professor Anoka Njan, Professor S.A. Biliamu, and Dr. Tolani, to help them study Moringa oleifera seed with the purpose of elucidating safety and toxicology profile. Here I provide a summary of our findings from the study of the seeds of Moringa. We evaluated the acute and subacute toxicity of the fatted extract of Moringa and used in albino rats using biochemical assays and histopathology showed that the extract at doses above 400 mg per kilogram caused kidney damage induced by widespread necrosis of tubular epithelial cells, and revealed that great consequences attend the chronic consumption of Moringa oleifera seed, as this will lead to kidney damage. Therefore, indiscriminate use of Moringa seed should be discouraged. OLORUNDARE et al. 2016. We also determined if oral administration of Moringa seed was developmentally toxic to pregnant rooster rats. This study revealed that Moringa oleifera ethanolic seed extract may adversely affect pregnancy in female at high doses. Anoka Atolani, OLORUNDARE, 2017. Community service at the local level. I have served as acting head of department pharmacology and therapeutics over many times over the years. I have served in various university boards, including Library and Publication Committee, University Printing Press, in addition to being hall mistress, serving Amina Hall and later female medical students hall. I was coordinator of the University of Ilorin Stem Cell Research Program from 2013 to 2014, and the director of the University Stem Cell Research Program Center from 2014 to 2017. During my tenure, the Stem Cell Research Program became a recognized unit of the university on the international level. and the university was subsequently designated by TECON as a Center of Excellence for Stem Cell Research. Since 2019, I have been conducting research with the Biocare Group in conjunction with some colleagues and postgraduate students. The Biocare Group is headed by Professor Sarah Liyemi, one of our retired professors of chemistry. My research contribution to this group, all gratis, has evaluated the toxicity profile of their proprietary herbal supplement that is sold under the name Moringa Plus, containing moringa leaves plus some herbs. The result of this study has been published. Conclusion, sir. Vice Chancellor, sir, from my research studies across the body systems, I have made the following summarized conclusion. In the brain, my research work has discovered the cochlear nuclear region as another site in the brain, aside from the established anterior hypothalamus preoptic region for the mediation of pyrexia. My research studies on the blood have delineated the ultrastructural processes and receptor movement and redistribution which take place in human platelets that bring about formation of primary hemostatic clot and subsequent platelet-platelet interaction which take place to stop leaks in blood vessels, and some of these processes which take place in platelets to bring about clot retraction during wound healing. At the level of the cardiometabolic syndrome, my research studies have demonstrated that the deadly relationship between postmenopausal syndrome and consumption of thermoxidized oil in the generation and progression of atherosclerosis. In the quest of seeking an end to the scourge of cancer, my research studies have identified seeds and leaves of African origin with the potential anti-cancer attributes that have even gone as far as obtaining pure compound named after the University of Ilorin for the potent anti-cancer properties. In addition, my research studies in this area have identified African vegetables and seeds that can abrogate or ameliorate toxicities of some cancer chemotherapeutic agents. More recently, in the area of stem cell research and regenerative medicine, my study has shown that hydrogens from decellularized aortic valves, porcine decellularized aortic valves, promote endothelial mesenchymal transition of endocardial progenitor cells, a crucial process in valvular development. Pharmacology was at work when we were born. I'm sure that we all started taking drugs from the time we were in our mother's wombs, as our mothers during antenatal care had to swallow some hematinics and anti-malarial tablets, some of which crossed into the placenta of the fetus. Pharmacology was at work then in the development of safe drugs for the growing fetus. As we all grew up, pharmacology kept pace with us as a faithful companion in sickness to restore us back to homeostasis, and in health to help the organs of our body maintain homeostasis. I do sincerely hope that this inaugural lecture has convincingly demonstrated that pharmacology has a special role in medical research and in the promotion of health and well-being. I dare say that pharmacology is the sinoatrial node, that is the heartbeat of medicine, if it's not the left ventricle. Recommendations. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, following, these are my recommendations. It's imperative for TECON to devote attention to funding the purchase and maintenance of equipment for laboratories in our various universities for basic research, teaching, and research at the undergraduate level. TECON must insist on obtaining major equipment directly from overseas manufacturers, who must not only supply and install equipment and make them function at the delivery stage, but must enter into maintenance agreement with these companies for the long-time survival of equipment. Academics in the medical and sciences must, as a matter of urgency, collaborate across research disciplines for robust and comprehensive research output. Electricity should be improved in Nigerian universities. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, there is need to have urgent discussion by the Vice Chancellors on their platform on this matter, and to seek intervention of TECON companies, philanthropies, and state government to arrest the situation of darkness in the university. There is an urgent need to invest in solar power supply in all federal and state universities. Accessing articles published from international journals is a major problem for many researchers in the medical and natural sciences. It is imperative for the university librarians to look forward to finding solution to this problem. The University of Ilorin has made a major stride under successive leadership in staff training for stem cell research and biotechnology. This field of research is the future of medical research. The university administration must not permit the stem cell research center to go into coma. I am confident in the ability of our dynamic Vice Chancellor, Professor W.O. Ebewole, to do all that is necessary to bring this research center to the level of excellence commensurate with what obtains in overseas countries. Bioprospecting African medicinal plants and herbs should be made a pivotal agenda of universities, Tech Fund, NAFDAC, and the Federal Ministry of Health collaborating together. China is at the forefront of this endeavor. My acknowledgements. First and foremost, my gratitude goes to the Almighty God, who deserves all my worship, and to my Savior and Lord Jesus Christ, through whose shed blood and redemptive work I'm alive today, standing before you all. He is my hope and trust of eternal salvation at the end of my race of life. My special appreciation goes to my great dad, Reverend Canon Johnson Olajide Faboyebu, who was extremely dear to me in all aspects of my life. I also acknowledge my mother, Mrs. Florence Olawi Faboyebu, my siblings, Right Honorable Justice Olarewaju Akeredolu, Mr. Olatunji Olumide Faboyebu of blessed memory, Lawyer Olusegun Ayodapo Oluboyebu, Pastor Rotimi Akintunde Faboyebu, Mrs. Omolola Olufunlola Adekeye, and Ekundayo Aderogba Oluboyebu, and their families. I want to use this opportunity to recognize Ruben Fasharoti, who is the head of my dad's family. I want to express my appreciation to the past and present administration of this university, starting with Professors S.O.O. Amani and I.O. Oloyede, who were Vice Chancellor and Deputy Vice Chancellor at the time my appointment as professor was made, and also to thank their families. I thank Professor A.G. Ambali, who was the Vice Chancellor, who approved my invitation to the University of Ilorin Stem Cell Research Program, and to Professor S.A. Kuranga and their families. I appreciate Professor S.A. Abdulkarim, during whose tenure the university obtained Tech Fund funding for stem cell research training of over almost 250 million to train us and technologists in the US. A big thank you to my current Vice Chancellor, Professor W.O. Ebewole, for his passion to see that the building of the Stem Cell Research Center in this university becomes a reality, and for his drive of excellence in this university. I thank the past registrar, Dr. Oloweleni, and the current registrar, Mr. Afana, for their excellent office ethics and drive for excellence. My special appreciation goes to Professor A.A. Adeoye, the chairman of the Library and Publications Committee, for his dedication and effort on this manuscript. My special thanks go to my present and past teachers, my secondary school teacher, Ms. Christine Groves of blessed memory, my teacher on the graduate level, especially Professor Charles Wangede of blessed memory. I appreciate Professor Thomas Adarudi, who supervised my MSc thesis. My deep appreciation goes to my PhD supervisor, Professor Ralph Moel Albrecht, who is not only my mentor, but became a part of my family, even my parents' family. I want to use this opportunity to specially acknowledge Professor Albrecht's laboratory for this work. I appreciate Professor Jim Mosher of the Department of Medicine and Biomolecular Chemistry for providing me a space in his lab during my sabbatical leave, and for his wife, Dr. Fran Fogarty, for making their home available to me. I thank Professor Timothy Camp for the Department of Medicine and Department of Cardiac Arrhythmia and Regenerative Medicine for providing me space to undergo my stem cell training in his laboratory. I want to thank Professor Ruben Alexanian for allowing me into his lab to learn to differentiate human pluripotent stem cells into progenitor heart valves. Special thanks go to Dustin Rubenson, Director of the Genome Editing, University of Wisconsin Biotechnology, who gave me tutorials on gene editing, and partnered with Professor Timothy Khan for me to learn how to edit the SCN5A mutational correction in the blue bladder cell line of the patient. I say a big shout out to Dr. Jennifer Kusner, Director of Carl's Global University of Wisconsin-Madison, who hosted the stem cell research collaboration between the University of Illinois and the University of Wisconsin-Madison for her excellent work in bringing this to successful fruition. A big thank you to my international collaborators, Professor Mamoru Bokesu of Kifu University, Japan. He hosted my two PhD students that in his laboratory. Special appreciation goes to Professor Hassan Mukhtar, Dr. Diba Said, Professor Mukasa Utami, Professor Jill Chanchio. To my Nigerian collaborators, a special thank you to Professor Adejumo Adeneye of the Lagos State University. A special thanks to Professor Shoyemi, and I use this by extension to thank all my collaborators, my local collaborators. I am grateful for collaborating also with the Raw Materials Research Development Council. The DG is Professor Hussein Ibrahim. My appreciation goes to my colleagues in the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics, Professor Anoka Njang, Dr. Mary Ologe, Olaleko Angede, Saeed Afolabi, and Olufunke. I say thank you to Dr. Matthew Bello, Mr. Femi Adeswa, Mrs. Omi, and other laboratory staff and the secretarial staff of the department, and to my past and present postgraduate students. I use this opportunity to thank members of the College of Health Sciences, the Provost, the Dean of Basic Clinical Sciences, Basic Clinical Sciences, and all the subjects for their excellent work and for making the College of Health Sciences a conducive environment for good work. My special appreciation goes to Professor Yusuf, the CMD of UITH. My appreciation also goes to the following past colleagues, current colleagues, Professor Ayoshola Loyi, Professor Ebi Omotosho, Professor Buhari, Professor Bolade Elena, Professor Lawrence Olatunji, Professor Oti Adedoyi, Professor Lubenga Mokolu, Professor Abayomi Fadeyi, Professor Oluwale Akinola, Professor Akim Shitu, Bernard Enaide, Stephen Balabi, Gabriel Omotosho, and Daria Ifade. To my pastor, I say a big thank you. The General Overseer of Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministries, and his wife, Dr. Shakori Pai. I appreciate Pastor Wale Adeodu and his family. I appreciate my present Mega Region RO, Pastor Samuel Olade. And also the General Overseers and pastors of the Kwara State region. I thank Pastor Moses Adekuni and his family for their prayers. Same goes for Pastor Remy Keji, Jesus Shino, Pastor Taiwo of the Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministry, Lagos headquarters. I appreciate Professor Elijah and your Labi, Vice Chancellor, Mountain Top University, and Dr. Mrs. Ibrahim. Finally, I especially thank and appreciate members of my nuclear family, my husband, Professor Ademile Siko, my children, Dr. Israel Olorundare, Engineer David Olorundare, and my appreciation goes to my daughter, Dr. Ifeoluwa Ojemakinde, and Marita Family Ojemakinde, and their family for their love and support. I am grateful to you all for your love, understanding, and prayers. I want to appreciate the in-laws of my daughter and their families for their love for my daughter. To God be all the glory.
As they say, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Once again, on behalf of all of us, let me congratulate Professor Olufunke for delivering the 260th inaugural lecture of this university titled Sickness and Good Health Pharmacology Assistance Medicine Research Primer. Congratulations. And on behalf of the OLORUNDAREs, let me appreciate the university scholars for taking time to be here. We appreciate the former Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Abdulgani Ambani, and his amiable wife. The Member of Council, Professor Folu Emmanuel Nloge, thank you for coming. The former Chief Medical Director in the Teaching Hospital, Professor Sulaiman Kuranga, and his wife. The current Chief Medical Director of the University of the Teaching Hospital, Professor Abdullahi Da Silva Yusuf, thank you for coming. The former Member of Council, Professor A.B.O. Omotosho. Former Provost, Professor W.R.B. Johnson and his wife. We appreciate the former Registrar, Dr. Mrs. Fola Odupe Oluwoleni, and her husband. Dr. Akim Bolaji, the head of the Department of Science Education at Olufunke University. The Vice Chancellor at Olufunke University, Professor Noah Yusuf, you are welcome. We appreciate the presence of Professor and Mrs. S.B. Agaja. The teaching and non-teaching staff of the University of Ilorin, members of the press, and of course, especially recognize and appreciate Engineer David OLORUNDARE, Dr. Ifeoluwa Ojemakinde and her husband, and of course, what we are used to is the wife of the inaugural lecturer, now the husband of the inaugural lecturer, Professor Solomon OLORUNDARE. We thank you all for coming.
All right, shall we arise for the university anthem? So we thank you very much for being a part of the 260th in the series of inaugural lectures at this university. Please kindly remain where you are The Vice Chancellor's procession recess. They are to be followed by the university scholars. And then the immediate family, the husband, a distinguished professor, Deputy Solomon of OLORUNDARE. Congratulations, sir. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for your time. Professor Mamman Jan, Professor Meshu, Professor Dominic, Director of CODL, you're welcome. Professor Zuna Sharon Ahmed, Professor Shua Tomo, Professor Salma,